Hey everybody, Ryan's disembodied voice here once again. I've been in front of a camera for the better part of the past 3 hours, give or take. I didn't think this content piece would necessitate a visual portion anyway, so if you do want to watch this on your TV or phone, like most of you do, I read those analytics, then enjoy whatever garbage is in the background. Just don't watch while you drive if you do want to listen to this update on the road. As I've said before, feel free to do some chores or something if you do have better things to do. And if you don't give a damn, feel free to skip this video because as far as the future content is concerned, well, it's not going to change. But if you'd like to know about what's coming up and kind of my plan for the future near and far, then do stick with it, and hopefully you'll have some clarity by the end of it. So at this point, it's been, I guess, a few months since I've posted. This will be uploaded probably a week or two, if not more, after I record this. And I might date myself because of it, but I was kind of in the mood to go ahead and do this, so I'm doing it now because it's kind of been life as of late, is just not being in the mood for certain shit. So I'm under no delusion that any of you guys truly know me, right? I mean, I'm just a guy on the internet that I try to be genuine. You know, I don't really put on an act. I guess I do try to be somewhat on my best YouTube behavior, though with the recent insane policy changes, I think I want to do the exact opposite just out of spite. But nonetheless, you know, I'm here for your guys' entertainment and information, and I'm doing this because I love it, honestly. That's kind of where it should begin and end. So I'm under no pretense that you guys should or need to listen to my problems, right? You guys are not my therapist, and the same way with the other way around. But with that said, that does resonate with me, just how awesome you guys have been in the comment section. I read everything. I don't even have the willpower to respond to everything, honestly. But I just want you guys to know that it is appreciated, that the kind words these past few months have been a nice little uplift. And it sucks to read that other people have gone through similar things, but I guess that's reality, unfortunately. So for those that, again, give a damn about the, I guess, impact of my personal life on the channel, I will go over some things, I guess the highlights, before I go into what I've got planned for the channel. So with the loss of two of arguably the three most important people in my life, I'm not going to pretend like I came out of this whole ordeal unscathed, right? I mean, how would you? It'd be a fucking joke for me to pretend like everything's normal. You know, it's not. It's not normal. It's never going to be normal again for me. And in that in and of itself is kind of the new normalcy, right? I'm not changed fundamentally. I'm still the same gear-obsessed asshole that I was before. But I am a little different, you know. My motivations, my tolerances for things have changed. I've noticed it myself. And as such, I'm kind of setting my own priorities for life, what I want to do, how I'm going to do it, a little differently than I would have otherwise. I've certainly come face to face with the premise of my own mortality in, you know, this past year than I ever did my entire lifetime combined. So it does make you think a little bit differently, somewhat negatively, somewhat positively, in the sense of like, you know, I'm going to enjoy this shit, but also I'm not going to let people pressure me or make me do stuff that has no benefit to me. You know, life sucks. You gotta put food on the table. I'm not saying that. But there has been a certain bit of realization with me that's like, maybe there are certain things in life I can afford to let go. Or maybe if all I can afford to do mentally is half-ass something, then maybe I shouldn't do it at all. You know, whether it be a project or a relationship. And that's kind of how I'm looking at YouTube as a whole, and certainly my own musical endeavors. So with that, personally speaking, I spoke about the potential for therapy with all this stuff a couple months ago. And at this point, I've not looked into it too seriously because, frankly, only just now I feel like is this stuff really sinking in, the reality of it, right? Because there's kind of this instantaneous relief when the dust has settled, I feel like, where it's not really sunk in. And I think it's starting to sink in. And I need to see where this goes and how it all plays out. Frankly, at this point, I don't want to spend more time dwelling on it than I have to. And I feel like I'm in a pretty decent spot. When I'm doing the stuff I enjoy, I'm happy. And when I'm around the people I want to be around, I'm happy. Or when I'm alone, when I want to be alone, I'm happy. When work's going good, I'm pretty content. But I have noticed that my bullshit bucket is basically non-existent anymore. Not even in like the sense that I'm short-tempered or anything, but just that I have so little stamina for dealing with stupidity, dealing with other people. It's just like I have got to be left alone after a while. Now, I've always been that way to a certain extent, being an introverted only child, but it's kind of turbo mode at this point. And it's not like, I want to go home and fucking drink a fifth of liquor or anything. I've certainly not responded in that way. I don't feel an inkling of depression or, some urge to do self-harm, intentionally or unintentionally. I don't feel any urge to drink or more, or do hard drugs or anything like that, just being honest. It's just like, I guess it's been a bit of a snap in my head of like, what the fuck are you really doing with your life? It's like, why should you have to spend one more second feeling negative than you have to? Hasn't the past 6 months been enough? So that's kind of where I'm at with my own headspace. So that's to say, I'm not normal. I don't think I'll ever be perfectly normal again. But working on what I have for the channel these past couple of months and working on music and all the things surrounding that has been some of the most joy I've had in this time period. So it means a shitload to me now more than it ever has in a certain capacity. And I guess I just got to continue to navigate that. So I'm okay. And I don't say that to put out some false image or play tough guy or anything. It's just I legitimately don't know how to not keep moving forward. I don't have that vocabulary or lack of willpower to just fucking lay down and quit. It's, out of spite, I'll do what I enjoy, just to piss off the universe, I guess. I don't know. So, I am legitimately okay. My dad and I talk literally every single day. I've got more people, that check up on me and stuff than I know what to do with. At some points, I'm like, Jesus Christ, people, like, you're smothering me. Like, and it goes back to that thing of like, I don't have hardly enough time and energy to, be a good friend to my closest friends, let alone to everybody else, and then kind of feel like shit that I don't dedicate more time to that. And so that's a whole vicious cycle. But I think it's a good problem to have. And I think as long as I have near-term and long-term things to look forward to and goals to reach, I'll stay grounded and overall content as I have been. It's been working out pretty good so far in that regard. So I'm grateful for that. I guess the one thing I would reiterate again is that I just have potentially a dangerous lack of maybe fear of consequences or tolerance for bullshit, because as I said before, I've kind of had it. I'm fed up with negativity. So fucking bring it at this point. It's like, no, you can't scare me. What will you take away from me at this point? So I'm sure that's a double-edged sword, but that's for me to figure out. The main thing is I just want you guys to understand and know how much your support and kind words has meant to me. Like I said before, none of us truly know each other, but I feel like I've got like the best damn comment section on YouTube, just how thoughtful and genuine everyone seems. And it does make an impact on me. So I just wanted to thank you guys again. Now, as far as how all that plays into the channel going forward. For the past better part of 8 weeks, I've basically been hacking at individual parts of different videos, whether it be like the B-roll or recording the demo parts, but not the principal presentation parts, and just kind of sitting on them until I was ready to finish them all up. And the goal there is to try to have a good half a dozen plus videos like ready to go, or at least ready for me to film and finish editing on, where the hard work is over. And honestly, the most satisfying work is over, because I find, especially recently, that I very much enjoy the toiling away in the studio, dialing knobs and adjusting microphone positions and playing with pedals and stuff like that, more so than sitting in front of a camera, but that's part of it. So there's kind of two ideas with having all this stuff backlogged. One, it gave me something to do when I wanted to be musically creative, but not necessarily work on original music. But two, it gives me a goal to finish before I put out original music. And this is a project I've been talking about for way too damn long. I just need to get it out there. But there are plenty of content pieces I want to have done before. And there's a lot of stuff that we'll be releasing simultaneously with this music that needs to be done before. So working on a lot of this material ahead of time and putting it out in, kind of the regular pace, or more regular pace than I would have beforehand, will give you guys, a steady feed of content while I'm working on this other stuff in the background. So hopefully there won't be as big of a noticeable slowdown in the other stuff as there would have been otherwise. Because I know, if everything else were normal and there was no other changes, then it would probably be a big ass dip, a big wait between the last kind of regular channel content I uploaded, and then there'd be a big chunk of this, and then probably dead silence for a while again, trying to play catch up. So I'm trying to avoid that, but it also puts pressure on me and makes me chip away at one of the biggest videos I have coming up, which is the Fractal Line 6 Kemper and Real Gear shootout. I have some of the legwork done on that, but it's going to be a while before I finish everything, and that's one of those things I want to have done before I release all this music. So will it happen that way? Who really knows? But I'm kind of not terribly that far off of the track I want to be on, which is not too bad considering that a lot of the break I've spent playing video games. Witcher 3 has accounted for over 80 hours of my life here recently, so that's fun, in addition to other stuff. But I honestly needed it just to have that fantasy world to escape into. But when it comes to the rest of the channel, a lot of the stuff I have planned are bigger videos. They're, of course, my long format style stuff, but a lot of it's just like it's spiraled into bigger stuff than I even anticipated, because that's what's interesting to me now. Quite frankly, I mean, there's plenty of concepts I wouldn't mind revisiting, but they're kind of quaint in retrospect, not in the sense that like I think it's bad information or that would make for a bad video. It's just kind of like a been there, done that. Somebody else has covered it. What more is there to say? Is it worth my time? Kind of thing. And not even in terms of like, is it going to get 10,000 views? Is it worth my time in terms of, is it intellectually stimulating? Am I learning something? With a lot of the videos I've made recently with the deep dives, big reviews, that kind of stuff, it's like, oh shit, I actually really learned something there. I can put that towards my own music or engineering skills. And I just don't know how many free plug-in videos I can do anymore and have that same sort of outcome. With that said, on the other hand, I do plan to have like these big feature-length videos I'm working on be offset kind of every other video with something that's a little more simplified stuff that I've been meaning to do to give context to future stuff or answer potential questions or that sort of thing. So not that I don't think they're going to be low effort or anything like that, but they're just going to be more simple than the other ones. I think I've maybe expressed a sliver of this sentiment in the past where eventually I would love to basically have every big idea done on the channel. I've already accomplished 10 times more than I ever thought I would with this, thanks to your guys' support and viewership. And, the money's not life changing, obviously. I mean, you can look at, what YouTubers make on ad rates. I'm paying a bill or two a month. It's not life changing. It helps. I appreciate it. It's awesome. But I don't do it because of that. Do it because I can see the feedback. It's crazy being mentioned on a different products forum because of whatever I did that it either helped a user or impressed the brand owner. I mean, I couldn't have dreamt of that, 5-6 years ago. Oh my God, this channel's coming up on 6 years. What happened to my life? Anyway, I would love to get to a spot where it's like, all right, that's it. Like, wrap it up. I've done everything I wanted to do, and I want to, move on to the next thing. And that's not to say I'd ever quit doing this stuff. But I also don't want to fizzle out into some pathetic, nothing burger of a content creator, which I guess it's one of those things where you die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And especially the recent state of YouTube isn't exactly conducive or inspiring to new content when you see the people that do get views. And I'm talking even in the guitar space. It's like, really? That's what people are watching? That's what they want to see? And it's so obvious that so many people are just putting on a fucking show, and that's like, you feel patronized, like they're talking down to you, or they have this, I don't know. There's so many things that annoy me, between the speech patterns, the editing, the lack of authenticity. And it's like, do I really want to be a part of that forever? And this is why I keep doing my own thing. Not to say that I have some, moral superiority complex, like, oh, I'm the best fucking channel out there, but I don't want to be a part of something that's so obviously not real after so long. So that's ultimately to say, I have no expiration date or anything where it's like, yeah, I'm done after this point. But I could foresee myself, knocking out these top 50 ideas, and I'll be like, it's good. I'm happy with that. I'm constantly coming up with more ideas than I could possibly ever complete in a lifetime. Far outpace my video ability, my ability to produce videos in terms of how quickly I can come up with stuff. But there are certain things where it's like, I've got to complete this. Like, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be something I want to know, and I'm sure other people will as well. But when it comes to those secondary ones, the things like, I wouldn't mind doing that. Again, with recent events especially, and kind of thinking about what I want to do long term, I could foresee it being like, okay, I'm okay with not making that. So when this music does release, I'm not saying I'm going to drop doing what I do, here recently, what I've been doing, what I've been reviewing, what I've been putting out. But I think that will mark a shift in terms of, like, I'm going to put out the high priority videos, and anything that is less than like 100% interesting to me, I'm going to keep pruning it until it is exactly as distilled and as interesting to me as I want it to be. Otherwise, I'm not going to spend time on it, because I have way too many musical ideas that need to see the light of day, and anything else that's less than like 100% good video to me is a distraction from that. Another personal factor that's kind of playing into that decision is that I want to move. It's not going to happen within the next year, more than likely, but I want to get out of here. And it's almost meme-worthy at this point how many locations I've changed to and from over the years. Let's see. We got the first house. I was in college. That doesn't even really count because that was always going to be temporary. Had the apartment. Got the house after that. You got the duplex after that, and then you got this one. So yeah, we're on the fifth location, looking for the sixth, right? Of course, this was due to unforeseen circumstances, or else I would want to be here longer. But the drive to work is somewhat driving me nuts on some days. I like being away from work, but I don't like having to go to and from, and it's up to an hour that I could save during my personal time to use for stuff like this, or just not driving and not spending money on gas, which would be good. But by my calculations, if I stick to my current rate of savings and just not being a total idiot, I should be able to scrape together the down payment for something decent by about this time next year. And that's without any other, factors of, borrowing money elsewhere or whatever. So I want to make that one the last time for a long time, but there are other unforeseen circumstances I'm sure that'll pop up, and who knows. I want to be at the same job that I've been at the past few years, but who knows what happens. It's like a fucking gamble every change when the financials drop. You're like, okay, who are they going to cut this time, or what structure are they going to change, or who are they going to piss off now? So you can't count on that, but all that kind of ties into it, where I want to have all this stuff accomplished before I get out of here, and because I feel like all that is going to be very much a change in the guard. It's going to be a mark of a new chapter in life for me in a lot of ways, and I do want to continue doing what I'm doing, obviously, but there's certain baggage I don't want to carry with me, both literally and figuratively, because some of this gear probably needs to find a new home, and stuff that's collecting dust. And I'm like, I'm going to make a video on that in the next 3 months, and that turned into 3 years later, so that's good. So I'm sure I've rambled on longer than necessary. A lot of stuff to cover, lots of stuff I haven't covered. But I think that pretty much sums up the thought process, my headspace, where I'm at, what I'm going to do in the upcoming months, and what I'm not going to do in the upcoming months, honestly. So this probably came less across as a channel update, more so the ramblings of a complete madman. But hopefully you got something out of that. Long story short, content is coming. I didn't want to leave you guys completely in the dark before that first real video rolls out, but it'll probably be another couple of weeks before it does. So I just want to thank you guys again for sticking with me, and everyone waiting for whatever I decide to do. It does mean a lot to know that I'm basically the reason people come to watch me. It's less about the stuff. The stuff attracts people, obviously. But the people that get it, that understand what I'm trying to do with the channel, that's really cool. And I don't take it for granted. I hope I can articulate that well enough and tell you how much I really do appreciate it. So with that, hopefully we'll see you in the next couple of weeks with something I think is going to be pretty cool, and followed by even more videos that I think is going to be really damn cool. Not to hype up one of them, but when the Valve state shows up again, I think it's going to be some of the best tones, at least closest tones I've ever dialed in on the channel. So enjoy that one. There's your little teaser for today. Thank you guys so much, and see you soon. Peace.